Hi, I'm Paul Turner and I'm Latin Link's International Team Leader, sent from Britain and Ireland and usually based in Peru, but at the moment in South Yorkshire on sending country assignment, so supposedly visiting churches, family and supporters. And meanwhile, Ruth is in
Northern Ireland. And I am Latin Link's International Member Care Coordinator, and I also work and develop member care for missionaries within Peru.
Well, like in Europe, the coronavirus is affecting different countries in Latin America in different ways. After Brazil, which is the country that is most affected at the moment, probably Peru and Ecuador are the countries that are being hardest hit. And you may have actually seen in the news pictures from Guayaquil, a city in Ecuador, that have been very distressing and just portray the very real suffering. But the people that are most affected in Latin America at the moment are the millions who already lived at or below the poverty line. People whose daily existence was eking out a living. And I was particularly moved when one of our members in Bolivia wrote describing how families in her neighborhood lift a white flag in their homes to indicate if they haven't got any food in the home. And so neighbors can see that and respond. Another group which is particularly affected are the millions of migrants who, having fled their own countries, are now not receiving the government benefits that nationals are entitled to. And now they're making a long journey home to where they came from. So it's an incredibly challenging time for the church in Latin America, but also a time of great opportunity for them to respond. And I'm just so proud of the way our members across Latin Link are joining the church there in that response.
Well, as you've already heard, we're in the UK at this time for our sending country assignment. And you'll obviously guess that all of that's been put on hold because of events and gatherings having been cancelled. However, we've been continuing with our Latin Link roles and responding to the impact of COVID-19 on our community in Latin Link. The great thing about our roles is that we can do them from wherever we are, as long as we have a computer and pretty good internet. So we've been in touch a lot with our members across Latin America and Europe, meetings and one-to-one conversations, and also through email. So that's what we've been doing during these last weeks. Latin Link operates around a team structure, and we have 12 teams across 16 countries. About a year and a half ago, we introduced a new role into our team structure. That new role is Member Care Facilitator. One of my priorities during this time is to train and equip the facilitators as they support and respond to their team members. I'm also doing lots of pastoral conversations with our member care facilitators to support them, with a few team leaders and with some of our members.
And just to add to what Ruth shared, as an international leadership team, Latin Link regularly meets with team leaders and short-term coordinators, and that has only increased over this time. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to all our country team leaders and short-term coordinators. The way they have responded has just been amazing. And thank you so much to the core team, that's the international leadership team, for all their support, and they have been absolutely brilliant as well, an absolute rock. And if you think about it, core, that's C-O-R-E, for this season at least, we're being known as the Latin Link International COVID Response Team.
Well, that God would fill us each day with his wisdom and love. Pray that God would help us as we serve him in our different roles in Latin Link at this time. I'd also ask you to pray for our Latin Link team members. Many of them have been living under the restrictions of strict lockdown for about 6 weeks. Some have got older parents at home, so there's anxiety there. Some are separated from their grown-up children. Our families, just like families here, are trying to homeschool and juggle all of the responsibilities of ministry or what they can do at this time. And some of our single members are finding it hard, just feeling very lonely at this time. Emotionally, it's difficult as our members live in communities where people are really struggling, not just with the effects of the virus, but with just getting enough food to put on the table each day. And that has a big emotional impact on our members. Also pray for our member care facilitators, that they will be able to reach out wisely and give good counsel and really listen and support our team members in their teams.
From here in Yorkshire, yes, if you could just please pray for these 3 things. And firstly, just to share with you, at the start of this pandemic, I really sensed God speaking to me very clearly and asking me to be this one thing, not to do something, but to be. And he asked me to be a non-anxious presence within the Latin Link community. But I'd really like you to pray for me in that, because it's not something that you can be in your own strength. And I really need to, each moment, dig deep into God. So if you can pray that I'd continue to do that, and just for wisdom, compassion, and real guidance as I lead Latin Link at this time. Secondly, if you could pray for our Latin Link team leaders. I've already said how grateful I am to each of them, but if you could pray for them on the ground, responding locally to all the needs and supporting their team. So pray for Latin Link team leaders. And thirdly, if you could pray for the church in Latin America. I've already described a little bit how they're responding, but this is, such a massive opportunity. And just pray for them and all our members as they work with the church, not just in Latin America, in Europe as well, to respond with God's love and compassion.
It's just been lovely to see the sovereignty of God and how he guides our steps. We hadn't planned to be separated at this time, and while there are limitations in that and we miss each other, there are blessings as well in that we can support our parents. And I'm in the beautiful countryside of Northern Ireland, and I'm able to get out to walk, and I'm thankful for that. But at the very beginning of this time, God brought a verse to me that's really stayed with me and impacted me deeply, and it's from 2 Thessalonians 3 verse 16, and it says, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way." And I just keep going back to that verse and continually find encouragement in it and bring it to people as well as I pray with them. And isn't it wonderful that the Lord, he is the Lord of peace himself, and that he wants to give us peace at all times and in every single way. And I'm also thankful for how we've been able to connect with different people across the world. We're still in touch with our church in Lima, with our teams in Latin America, and with some of our supporters, friends and family. So even though we're not able to meet in person, I'm just thankful and being encouraged by their support and the connection.
And God has encouraged me so much during this time. He's granted me this precious gift of spending an extended time with my dad. And my dad is just such a blessing. He's been such an encouragement to me. The way actually he engages with Latin Link, he uses this every day, the Latin Link prayer calendar. He reads his emails. He asks after people. It's just been so humbling to see. And then the other way that I've been incredibly encouraged is just by all the examples of community across Latin Link. You probably know our strapline as Latin Link is community with a calling. But in this season, it's been so much more than that. It's been a daily living reality. And, you know, every call I get, every email I read, I see a new example of Latin Link being community within Latin Link, but beyond it as well. And that is just such an encouragement. And I'd like to encourage you all as well. From the 17th to the 24th of May is Latin Link's week of prayer, and it would be fantastic if you could join us in that. So look out in your inbox for more details and check out the Latin Link Britain and Ireland website, and it would be fantastic to join together to pray for God's mission in and from Latin America.